The play-in tournament is in the books, and the playoff field, it's officially set. The Suns are the final team to make it as the 8th seed in the West, and their gift is to take on the reigning champs, the Thunder. Welcome on in. I'm Taylor Brooks with Blake Griffin, Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, and Udonis Haslem. The picture is clear. The Suns held on for the win. They're headed to the playoffs, and the trend continues. Every 7 seed has advanced to the playoffs so far in the history of the play-in tournament, and they look like the 7th seed out there. And tonight, they were just the better team, UD.
Yeah, they imposed their will. This is what the Suns do. They're third in turnovers created. They're third in deflections. They imposed their will. They were physical. They got up in them, and they got 30 points off turnovers tonight. So this is who they are. This is their identity, and they played to their identity over a championship-caliber team.
Yeah, I thought they were great. I mean, right from the jump, UD, you said imposed their will, right? But what I loved was their resolve. Like, this is a team who is very, very hard to beat. Steph Curry, we know, can get hot at any time. We saw it in the Clippers game. They just kept fighting. They stuck with it. Had some lulls in the offense, but just the hustle, the mentality to fight was huge. And I'm excited for this Oklahoma City series. Dillon Brooks, man.
Yeah.
Get at least 4 more games.
I love Jalen Green has been fantastic here in his play-in tournament, and really had his own personal 8-0 run there to start the fourth to really start putting the game away. Thought he was fantastic, making shots, getting the middies, making plays, getting to the rim, really beating guys off the dribble. He's fantastic. They got the 3-point shooters involved. We talked about before the game with Goodwin. Royce O'Neal had a few. Obviously, Brooks made a couple. So this was their style of game. You know, be physical in defense, not let the Warriors 3-ball get off, and then offensive, you know, move the ball, find a 3-point shooter.
Yeah, Jalen Green, 36 points on just 20 shots tonight, including 8 threes. We know what kind of weapon he was in the play-in tournament, but what kind of weapon is he in the playoffs?
Well, he's important. I think for the Suns, like, shot creation has been difficult. Fourth quarter scoring has been difficult. You know, Dillon Brooks has come on this year as an offensive player. Obviously, Devin Booker is an elite offensive player. I don't think he's been at his best health this week. So they've needed people to score, and I think Jalen just showed up and made so many tough one-on-one baskets, got into the paint, got to the backboard, made his middies, made threes. So him getting on a hot streak was super important. This is a tough time of year. You know, you look at this team, they're missing Mark Williams and Grayson Allen. You look at the Warriors, they're missing Jimmy Butler, Steph's on one leg out there, Porzingis coming out. So it's like a little bit of the walking wounded, and all that corporate knowledge and know-how on the Warriors and what Steph did the other night. You know, I think it was just important that the Suns just held firm and, like you said, put that pressure on them, created turnovers, played to their identity. So I think it was a great step for them and the organization.
Yeah, and UD, one thing you were talking about back in the green room, Suns 30th and fourth quarter offensive rating this season. They were able to really lock in there down the stretch. What changes did you see from them?
Well, just focusing in, not giving anything easy, contesting everything, and finishing with rebounds. I think in the first half, Golden State did a good job of trying to get down in the paint a little bit, posting them up. We got smaller defenders down there. Those guys were fouling a little bit. I think in the second half, they stopped fouling, contested everything, rebounded the ball, and got out on the break and did what they did well. But also offensively, when you got those guys, Devin Booker, and you also got Green coming off that pick and roll, it's going to have to be an adjustment because those guys feast on the drop coverage when you're a big. I mean, those guys get to their spots and they pull up like they left their phone, and it's miss or make. Like, it doesn't matter. I said that, pull up like they left their phone. If you leave your phone somewhere, what you going to do? You're going to pull up and get it. You're going to pull up and get it.
Write that one down in the UD's book of sayings.
All right, BG, well, while you are writing that down, it is time for our premium player, presented by Patron. We welcome
What's up? What's up, fellas?
Shirt off. Dillon the villain.
Dillon the villain. The Suns are back in the playoffs. Now, I read a story that you did for the Players Tribune, and you said that after you got traded, your first call was to Devin Booker. You asked how you all can flip this around and set the culture for the future. Now that you have a year under your belt and you're headed to the playoffs, what answers have you found to that question?
We got resilience. We're relentless, and we fight every single day for 82, no matter the injuries we had or the turmoil. We stay together and play together. So it shows that all of our work from training camp to China to the whole season, come together in this game right here, elimination game, and get us into the playoffs.
Dillon, man, hell of a game tonight. It's UD here.
Appreciate it.
I'm retired now, but guys like us, we don't get to throw rocks and hide their hands. We actually got to stand on business. And you said that you wanted the Golden State Warriors. What about that matchup and about that team that you saw that said that this is the matchup that we want?
Since last year, Game 7, me and JG were talking about it before. Then the trade happened, and then, it was kind of poetic that, they could beat the Clippers and we lost to Portland, and we got to face off in an elimination game. So we had a great matchup, great plan, great scout, and, we followed it all the way through.
Dillon, what's up, man? It's Blake. Great game. Congrats on the win.
Appreciate it.
Talk to me about Jordan Ott, man, and just the job he's done as a first-year head coach, just giving you guys that mindset to come out and play the way you are.
Yeah, just playing hard, doing it for your teammates, and, stressing the defense a lot because he's an offensive wizard, so, he can't be too offensive oriented. So, he gets us right every single day. He's in the gym, watching film for hours, and he's so prepared and he gets us ready to go. So, I'm happy that he's my coach. I'm happy that his first year that we get to the playoffs and get to see what it's really about. You get these guys acclimated, and we're ready to go to OKC.
Yeah. Speaking of Dillon, congrats. Now you're facing the champs. What do you see in this matchup? Couple fellow Canadians over there. What do you like in that matchup?
I think we like OKC. We play hard against them, throughout the season. We play them about 5-6 times already. So, we like the matchup. We're ready for it. And, we're going to fly tomorrow and get ready.
Yep. Good luck.
Dillon, Dirk says you never pass. Like, this guy thinks he's John Stockton or something, right? Like, when did he ever pass the ball?
I don't normally pass, but, I was in foul trouble. We got a lot of shooters on our team, and, the players were stressing me to pass the ball. So, I was just attacking closeouts, and then, once they collapsed, just trying to find the open shooter, and I did so.
And you did a good job.
That's what you do.
You did a good job, but don't get carried away with the passing. You still need to fill it up a little bit.
I'll leave that to you, Steve. I was just trying to show a little bit of Steve Nash out there.
But seriously, everywhere you've been, you've affected winning. Now, just talk a little bit about coming to this team and trying to build those bonds and leave your mark with this team, both ends of the floor.
From the beginning, from training camp throughout the season, just trying to leave my imprint on each and one of these guys to, play with heart, play with passion. Don't be scared of the moment. And, I know I'm doing a good job when I got Steve Kerr telling me, I'm doing a great job. And, he's been on my case for a while. I just feel like I'm an infectious player that, gives confidence to, my teammates, coaches, whoever. And, we go out there and play hard.
Dillon, you mentioned that foul trouble. You are obviously an intense player, a great defender, and sometimes the fouls can follow you because of it. How do you have to balance that aggressiveness and discipline against a team like Oklahoma City?
There are a lot of foul baiters on that team, so, we got to, show our hands. I hope it's the real playoffs, be calling too many calls, but, show your hands. We got to follow the scout. Funnel them, in the paint and be able to have our rotations proper because, they shoot it great at home. There's a reason why they're the #1 team in the NBA. So, we're going to have our hands full with, their driving. But, if our closeouts and our rotations are great, we'll be able to get them down lower into the shot clock and play our defense there.
He called them foul baiters. This is going to be a good one.
I heard that. And once again, he ain't throwing rocks and hiding his hands. He's very direct. Hey, I got a question for you, Dillon. One more question really quick. Don't worry about the haters up here with me. You dressed up like Stone Cold Steve Austin a couple years ago. You a wrestling fan?
I was, growing up, I watched Stone
when you were a child.
Yeah, we all were.
Don't worry about them haters. You can be a grown man and like wrestling.
UFC maybe. I don't know about the WWE, but
the Canadian WWE is a little nicer.
My old team security always said I got a thing for wrestling after my NBA season's done. I mean NBA career's done, but I don't know about all that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure he thinks that because he sees you as a bit of a heel. in the NBA.
For sure.
It would be a great
and
heel.
I play for the fans. I'm all for the fans. So, I could probably get a good fans vote for sure.
Dillon, I have one last one for you. Obviously, Thunder atop the standings. We know the success that they have had in the NBA this season, but I know that you see no fear. So when you are looking at the Thunder, what are you trying to instill into your team that if you're going toe-to-toe with them, it's about believing in who you are?
Yeah, it's about believing what we do every single day, our principles, our base, our foundation, and then just play hard each and every single possession and value every single possession. So, I believe in my guys, against anybody in the NBA, and, we're going to go out there and, steal game one.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Jalen. Incredible stuff. Great win.
Good luck,
Appreciate you.
Dillon.
Appreciate it.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Bring that hard.
All right, the Suns are moving on to the playoffs. The Warrior season is over with that loss. So let's hear from Steve Kerr at the podium.
Steve, towards the end of the game, you and Draymond and Steph kind of did a group hug. What was that moment like, and what message was shared in that huddle?
None of your business.
All right.
Your future is about to become a major topic. How do you, what's kind of your plan in the next?
My plan is to take a little time and, I don't know, take a week or two and eventually sit down and talk with Joe and Mike. We've always had a great partnership and collaboration, and just see where they are. And I'll tell them where I am, and we'll talk about what's next for the Warriors, what the plan is this offseason, and we will come to a collaborative decision on what's next. I don't know what's going to happen. I still love coaching, but I get it. These jobs all have an expiration date. There's a run that happens, and when the run ends, sometimes it's time for new blood and new ideas and all that. And if that's the case, then I will be just nothing but grateful for the most amazing opportunity any person could have to coach this franchise in front of our fans in the Bay, and to coach Steph Curry, to coach Dre, the whole group. So it may still go on. It may not. I don't know at this point. But we all need to step away a little bit and then reconvene.
Now, we obviously don't know what the future holds, but I just have so many great basketball memories of this Warriors team. Steph, Draymond, Klay, Steve Kerr. So seeing him on that podium talking about a future that feels a little bit unsure, what does that bring out of you when you think about the future of this Warriors team?
I mean, like you said, you think about all the great memories. I mean, it's also might not be over. And you never know. I think when you're in this situation, when you're in this season, you put everything you have into it. Just trying to figure out how to get to the playoffs. Unfortunately, they fell short, but this might not be the end. And if it is, I mean, they had one of the best runs of all time, and nothing to hang your head about. They formed a bond that is unbreakable. So it is sad to hear him sort of speak like that about the unknown, but it would be sad if it wasn't sad.
I got a chance to work with Steve and the Warriors when I retired. Obviously he's a great coach, a lot of success, championships, but a world-class human being. The way he treats everybody in that organization, his players, everyone on the entire staff, all the way to the end, people you'd never heard of or see, treats everyone with incredible class, humility. So the way he's gone about doing the job has set such an incredible example for everyone inside and outside of the Warriors. I think with his success, he's earned the opportunity to do what he would like to do going forward. Whether that's continue coaching the Warriors or not, I think he's put himself in a position where he just brings so much value to our game and our society that hopefully he has an opportunity to choose what happens next.
Yeah, and all of us up here know what that feels like. We understand what it's like to be able to land your own plane. And right now, the way they feel is not how they're going to feel in a month and a half. Right now, you're mentally, physically, emotionally drained. Take a step back. Don't even think about basketball. Maybe you cut on the playoff games. Maybe you don't. And then you go back and revisit these conversations in a month and a half, and you'll have a whole different mindset and a whole different view.
We did see Steve Kerr, Stephen Curry, and Draymond Green at the end of the game. We have a little peek into what that moment could have sounded like. Let's listen in.
I don't know what's going to happen next, but I love you guys to death, and thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh, Dirk.
Sweet, emotional.
It is.
They had a heck of a run, and like you and Blake said, that the bond you form over all these years, and you're like a family, and so Oh, this makes me choke up a little bit, but it was a cool moment, and we'll see what happens. I mean, there's plenty of question marks, obviously, moving forward, but as Steve says, Kerr is a class act, and he'll make the right decision for himself and for the franchise moving forward.
Yeah, obviously a lot of love between those guys. You won't know what else they said, because as Steve Kerr said, it is none of our business.
None of your business.
All right, coming up, we are going to revisit the dominant win for Paolo Banchero and the Magic against the Hornets to earn